Choose your journey. It's time. It's time to walk the path to peace. Elevate your potential and become a beacon of positive change. Your path brought you here for a reason. Dive in. Embrace the power of collective growth and unlock the masterpiece of your life. The path to peace awaits.
Ready for Gaia?
How can we be resilient in a world that's growing more volatile by the day? How can we thrive?
Don't buy into the fear. It's about waking up.
Explore the world's largest library of conscious media with thousands of films and original programs.
People all over the planet are waking up.
Gaia is ready for you.
We can adapt our lifestyle to this time of extremes.
For the seekers.
Inside, he was able to detect the fetus of some creature. It is clear by scientists that it's something different. It is not human.
The wanderers.
In ancient times, the Atlanteans were said to have an advanced technology and power supply based on crystals.
The dreamers.
My dream is to help people understand how the universe operates, so that each person can find their own unique purpose within the cosmic plan.
And the doers.
Thoughts can have an effect on your brain, your body, and your life. And I'm going to show you how to rewire your mind, your heart, and your body.
For those who dare to travel their own path.
Our potential to access the supermind is no longer simply theoretical. How can we hack our history to change our future?
We are meant to learn again and again in this life that truth does indeed set us free.
Now we are proposing a new beginning, a new history for human beings.
All righty. So excited to be back, with the new month and got Loren coming. Just want to say thank you to Gaia. It's been a pleasure to continue to have them put so many different things out for people, and you can always follow along at gaia.com/Sid. We just put out probably 10 videos for people to do their meditation, do their practice. So go on over and check it out, and excited to continue that relationship and continue to build. And what I'm really grateful for is Liz and I have been traveling over the last couple of months as we've been bringing this platform forward for everyone to learn how to live in peace. We've been traveling. We've been as far north as Boston. We've stopped all the way in between, up and down the coast. And soon we'll be heading out to the West Coast. And that's been amazing to sit with everybody and get connected and see peace growing for so many people. So excited to continue into this month, as we've already gone into, what is the program? What did it look like for us to talk about peace and start to bring that forward? And then stepping into the second month where we said, okay, what does it look like to live in the art of peaceful living? And it's been a pleasure to have so many people writing in and saying, hey, we got it. It's happening. It's showing up in our lives, and we're learning how to speak to it with other people, and seeing how those things and that impact is available for everybody. And excited to bring Loren on and get this conversation going as we move into this month of December and continue to grow. What's up, buddy? How you doing? It's coming. Gotta unmute.
I thought you had people.
I thought so too, but you have to unmute yourself.
That ain't what happened when I was at NBC with somebody today. I'm kidding. I will. That was a rookie mistake. I'll own it. I'm good. Let's go back to your opener though.
Yeah.
You think you something when you be getting in and out of them cars, huh? I was just looking at it like, you're like, how you know the camera was on you? Was that set up, or was that like, oh, how y'all doing, paparazzi?
It was paparazzi.
Yeah.
Liz.
Yeah. I said, oh, he likes getting in and out of those cars. I'm good. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Happy holiday.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Yeah,
I've dubbed it the Amazing Grace Day and celebrate Thanksgiving because I am part Native American, so it's a little tricky that way. So it's Amazing Grace Day, and when I look at that, like most people don't know this, but for me, I've been teaching yoga classes on Thanksgiving for years, and I start off like that. And we just re-engaged that back in Annapolis this year when we went up north. And one night I was watching Amazing Grace, the movie, and I learned so much about where Amazing Grace, the song, came from, the Star Spangled Banner, and all those different things. And it was a guy that ran a slave ship, and it just haunted him to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so it was, we ended up after that moment where I watched that, for years, we've been singing Amazing Grace at the end of that class and sending people to create that grace with their family. So Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for that practice and excited to continue to move people into the amazing grace that's possible for everybody. Yeah, so that's how it shows up, bro.
I'll ring the bell. So, did you eat turkey?
I did.
Oh, so after yoga, before yoga, yeah, it is. And so, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we even got what do you call it? A couple pies. I haven't had sugar in 2 years, so we got a couple pies that no sugar added. I mean, I'll do like apples have sugar and things like that.
Come on, even on a holiday, you can't.
I'm allergic to sugar. What you want me to do?
You are. I wish that would rub off on me as I eat a cookie.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't eat cookies. I don't touch any of that stuff because my body does something on the inside, and that's something I've been working with people to recognize. Like, ever since that happened for me, I've been going to restaurants, and the first thing I say is, "Hey, look, I am deathly allergic to sugar, so let me know what I can eat." And they have to change the whole menu because everything is sugar loaded.
Has sugar in it. Have you always been that way?
No, it's been the last 2 years. So you'll be interviewing me if I keep going with this, but I lost my sight, and it was because my blood sugar shot to 750.
Wow.
And
I also heard that allergy to sugar is a side effect of that bleaching cream.
You're stupid. Just because I live in Florida and I'm usually a lot darker and the sun has been gone for a few weeks. Come on, bro.
I got to hit you with something. I miss you. I only see you once a month now, so I have to get it in. But I'm really excited about this topic tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Changing it up.
The journey into peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now that we're here and people have started to get some of the lessons, it's like, okay, now let's take this journey a little further and see where we go. You know, it's interesting because over the last couple months that I've really focused on this with so many different people, I've been in this place where it's like, okay, when are we going to stop talking about it and really start being it? You know, more so, and that's the journey. The journey into peace is like, okay, anything that is outside of my alignment of peace inside, I can shift that. That's the journey,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
and really starting to look at it. And so many people that I've interacted with have left themselves in that space of dis-ease.
Well, I'll tell you this. Can I share something?
Yes, sir.
Because, okay, I think well, I don't think I know. There's something available that I didn't know was available until like in this last year, where I really was seeking what we're talking about here, more peace. But you know, again, like most things, like faith and joy and all the things you cannot draw a picture of. Peace is one of those things. I believe that it is a place more so than a thing. And so, but this year, like now, I'm going into these new situations that are helping me to live up. I have a new mantra. And it was a download. I didn't come up with it. It came to me. And I was told, Loren, for the next, until further notice, pretty much, your theme is now raising your temple. So raising my temple. And so that's what I love about this. And I got myself a mindfulness coach first, who was just so I could learn how to steer with my ADHD, because I've never taken the medication that's upstairs. I have it. The VA sends it every month, but I don't ever take it. So I was looking for things to help me find that place, which is peaceful, where people sit, because you know I can't do yoga and I can't sit my ass still. You know what I mean? Even when I'm sitting there, even when I'm saying a blessing over food, so I'm chewing, you know, and think about and I've always been that way. My mom used to say, "Boy, you better hope that ain't poison, because you already eaten. You ain't even said your blood. God is good, God is great." Right. And my mind works that way. But now raising my tempo, so I got the mindfulness coach and he's showing me some things, breathing, you know, which is really helping me. And then I'm going to Boston with my best friend Mark. We're going to Sanjeev Chopra's house to get that transcendental meditation weekend in with his wife. You know, she does it on a big level.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going for that. And because I'm jealous of people who can just sit down and, you know, not just because of your flexibility and all that, you know, but that helps me kind of like call you a lot of names in my mind, but I don't really mean them. But I mean, you know, just to sit, even if I were flexible enough, I don't think I sit my butt still. So I'm really anxious to find how to raise my tempo, because now I know, you know, I can go to the gym every day. I can eat and do the whatever, because I'm 61, I eat what I want to, because I'm not trying to be a prisoner, but I know my perimeters and my limits, and I know how to balance.
Well, let me give you a trick. A little helper. Yep, a little helper.
For
your thoughts.
Oh, how to stop, calm them?
The idea of stopping your thoughts is a thought. Therefore, it isn't about stopping your thoughts. It's about seeing your thoughts, letting them go, and then get in the space between your thoughts. So,
say it again.
Okay, so it's like you're watching a movie.
Okay.
And you've got subtitles on the movie screen, right? They come up just like people seeing us talk. There's subtitles going by.
Right.
No one's worrying about the subtitle that just went by. And if we were to stop talking, they would just sit in the gap and wait for the next subtitle. That's where you want to go in your meditation, in that space between your thoughts. So that now when a thought goes and the next one is not there yet, you're just in this space. And the more you get in that space, the bigger that space becomes before the next thought comes. So just allowing your thoughts to come and just observe them and knowing that, all right, is this a thought that I really want to have, as opposed to trying to control the thought?
See what I'm saying? That to me, for a guy like me, when someone says, now just think about that thought. Is this a thought? I'm already like, just while you were describing, I was like, now I got to go to Jewel tomorrow. That's our grocery store at the street. What was on that list upstairs? No, I'm not kidding. And there are a lot of people that don't know how. See, this is what I see that you want to know what I'm seeking when I say about this peace thing? What I'm shown is that I'm seeking, like, say, they show me a wooden bowl and then they let a marble roll, like a white marble roll in it, and it goes like this. And it's showing me that it's going to get me to a spot where it sets right in the soul of the bowl, right down in the center. It sets well with my soul. That's what it showed me. That's what I'm going for. That's
so this is a little different vantage point.
Okay.
Okay. You go to the zoo or you watch Planet of the Apes. Remember Caesar, right? When they started with Caesar. Have you seen Planet of the Apes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Caesar is sitting in the cage chilling.
Yeah.
And all the other monkeys are running amok, doing a distraction. Caesar's sitting there watching the show. There is inside of our minds all these extra thoughts. There's a monkey in the cage of our head that's sitting still. Just find that one, because that one will command all the other ones to be still. And that's what I'm saying by the gap.
Okay.
The space in between the thoughts is Caesar sitting still.
That was a good one.
Just being.
That one worked.
Yeah, I had to give you some tricks because you were ready to go shopping again.
You're right. Then I was like, yeah, I'm tracking, and yeah. But what is it? What do you think it is that makes it such a difficult thing? Because it is a challenge, because you're thinking about, okay, this thought is that, but it's a thought. And then here's another thought. And you see people make it look so effortless. And sometimes, let me ask you this. Do you believe that a certain proficiency of this is like a gift? Like a person who can sing, or a person who can dance, or a person who can water ski? Do you think that there are people who are gifted at doing this with more ease and efficiency than others?
Yeah, definitely. I think people come in with different gifts. And some people, the gift of having a slowed down, concentrated mind can also be a curse, right? Because that person may not move when the fire's coming. Now, on the other side, someone who has a fast-paced brain, like yourself or my father, moves really fast. My father's a certified genius, so his brain moves really fast. That's a gift, but as we talk about, we were going to talk about today, too much of anything is just too much.
It's too much.
Yet we all have everything, and some of us have certain parts of us that are stronger than others. We have to be with them before they become too much. That's
right.
Anything. Anything can be too much. Too much love too much love with a child looks like undisciplined, and the world doesn't want to be around them. It kind of goes like that. We have to look at and say, okay, where am I getting out of my own box, right? Where am I coming to a point that it's like, now it's time for me to say, okay, I'm going to step back and then allow that to move forward. So whomever it is, no matter where we are, when it starts to move away from peace, it's becoming too much. And that's where we want to go. It's just to start to see, okay, where am I getting out of balance? Peace it's the foundation, as we've talked about over these few weeks. It's the foundation that gives me access to love. When it becomes too much, it'll take me outside of that, which can look like somewhere in the illusion. It can look like fear. It can look like anxiety. It can look like hate. It can look like shame, guilt, all those different things. And get back to peace, get back to that middle place, because pleasure and pain, one and the same, they both bring us to misery. And so for me, it has to be finding that middle ground to get there. You froze again. And you're getting stuck with some interesting frozen faces that show up. And so when we're looking at this, another thing we talked about being too much, it's also coming into what is the West, and start looking inside of ourselves and say, okay, what is this that, as we look at it, we call it the warrior monk quest or vision quest, as I went through in my customs. And so now all of a sudden it's like, okay, where in this quest for peace can I start? And we start in the West, which means looking within myself so that I know when I'm off. And that's how I can get back on quicker. You're back? Seems like keep cutting out. And so I'm going to keep going on this thought. When I'm in the West, okay, we're talking warrior monk quest, vision quest, and moving through all those things. From my standpoint, or how I've been taught, is you go through 4 quests for yourself in a year. And the first one, you go sit, and it's called going into the West, really looking into myself and beginning to see how I have in myself created the reality that's outside of me. So the first thing I got to do is look within and say, okay, what's going on in here that's serving me or not serving me to move forward with everything that comes? And so I think that's the most important part, is for us to start it's for us to start to look within ourselves and then say, okay, how do I move forward from there? And that's what it's showing up for.
I'm watching you on my phone since I was like waiting for the internet gods to let me back in. But I was tracking you the whole time.
Sweet.
I just want to say one thing about the too much. Because I'm very particular about that word. TOO. Seriously. I really only use it at the end of a sentence where it's inclusive and it's of increase. Oh, come on, Sid. There's room in here for you too. There's enough peace for you too. You want some? There's some in here for you too. But when we move it, it enacts that promise of where we won't be given more than we can ever handle. And as soon as we say it's too something, it means that it's too much. Poof, something disappears because of the contract, the covenant of you're never going to be given more than you can handle. The testimonial is in the test and all of that sort of thing. So I change it to so. It's so much. I'm so tired. I'm so old. I'm too old, because it becomes it's sabotage talk. Once it becomes too something, you're saying it can't be.
Okay, so here's, and I see where you are with that. Yet I'm going to look at it like this. All right, I got a grid, top left, top right, top bottom left, bottom right. And we're going to use a word, and we'll say this person is hateful. What's the opposite of hateful?
Loving.
Okay, we'll say loving. And what's the strength of being hateful?
What is the strength of being hateful?
Yes.
I've never found any strength in it.
Okay, the strength of someone who is hateful, they're protected. They protect themselves. They guard everything. Now, too much of being protected becomes hateful. Too much of being loving becomes weak. And so learning to be in that balance between being protected and loving, that's what I mean by that.
Do you think you can be too loving?
Yes.
If that's the case, then how do we have unconditional love?
When I say too loving, I'm talking more like kind. You can be too kind. And I know I'm seeing you be like, well, all right, Sid,
you might be able to.
Here's why I say that now.
I
All right.
can't be too kind.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
So when you're too kind and you sit there and the person's like, hey, I'm swinging this machete, and you're like, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be good, and now your head's gone. Were you too kind?
No.
What were you?
I don't think there's ever such a
I
thing.
mean, you're then dead, but so now what?
Well, it's not because I was too kind. It was because that person was too evil.
Okay, so either way, too kind
Either
didn't
way.
work out.
I'm not backing down off of.
All right, so hold on. I'm with you. Now let's go over to the Middle East right now. We've got one group being a certain way and another group being another way. I'm not even going to say which group because you could argue either way on either one.
True.
So with that being said, if one doesn't stand up because they're just being kind, they can become a martyr like it was done to our brother Jesus when he was there. And it's not that being a martyr is not necessarily bad, but do we want to always be a martyr for someone else who just wants to be mean?
No.
Well, that's kind. Kind looks like when it becomes too much, it's like kind is the person who goes and picks up everybody's kids at the school all the time because everybody else has a problem. And now all of a sudden that person is depleted and can barely pick up their own kids, do anything else after, and they're in the dumps. That's victim. Kind becomes victim. And in order to have a jerk in your life, you got to be a victim, which can be too kind. Sometimes you got to just be protected.
I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I think it's how we choose to the perspective we choose. For instance, a lot of people speak to haters, and I tell them all the time, I don't know what that is. I ain't never had one. Yes, no, I haven't, because it's a choice. Loren doesn't have haters. Loren has closet fans. They love me. They just don't know it yet. That's my job. That's how I look at it. But I get what you're saying. But I look at it like when you say the kind, like, see, that's why there's that term. I think it's a term. Well, it makes sense, but it's also misconstrued a lot of the time, taking kindness for a weakness. See? So I think instead of me being too kind, that person took kindness as a weakness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry for your skewed view or lack of appreciation for the gift and the blessing, which is true kindness.
So my question for you, though, in the midst of this, if someone is, let's say a group of people, they're just kind. They're kind. They're kind all the time. And on the other side, you got this group of people that are just hateful, evil.
Yep.
Now, the kind people never do anything, and the kind people no longer exist. Now what? See, because I'm saying that kind person can be protected and not be hateful. And they've got to work in the balance of both of those things, because in the space, that's why I wanted to jump off loving, because it's all love. We can get misconstrued by using that word, because the English language, we use words to describe one thing, but in other languages, me encanta, I love you, and canto and cantar, I love you, says that. Now, if I like, it's a different scenario, right? We don't do that in the English language. We take these words and just lump them into this whole thing. Love is everything. So I don't want to, I'm retracting love off that, because love is everything, right? Yet I've got to be able to be in the balance of the two, of being able to be protected and to be kind. Or I fall victim if I'm just kind and just let myself be kind eventually. And for me, sacrificing myself for everybody else's stuff, I've been doing that too long. I've been doing that. And now it's like, okay, so I've invited in the jerks that just want to take. I've got to be able to be protected and still be kind to them. That's just how I move. That's peace to me.
And there is a fine line, because you don't want people that abuse your kindnesses and things of that nature. You don't want them to rob you of the gift of giving. You don't want them to rob you of the gift of serving. However, that's when we must learn when to hold them, when to fold them, when to say, you know what, I need to banish you because I can't change you. Only you can change yourself. However, I can't keep you around and risk you robbing me of the joy because that's like, say for instance, you loan somebody money and they That's why I don't loan money anymore. Whenever somebody asks for money, I say I'll give it to you this time if I have it, but it's a gift. And it's one time. So if it's 32 cents or 32 grand, you get one chance. You better wait until you really need it because you ain't getting, because that made it so much easier. Because it just made it so much easier. And because I didn't want to fall into being the kind of person that I let people like that didn't know, they couldn't be impeccable with their word, blah, whatever the different things they did that made it a horrible experience for both of us, severed relationships. To stop me from feeling that innate need to be of service, to ease some suffering when I know I could, simply because of what they did. So they would be, in essence, robbing me of a natural, God-given desire to be of service. Because I'm like, well, screw it. Every time I loan somebody money, every time I get burned, I ain't helping nobody no more. Right? And so it is. It's a balancing act. It really is. And I think you're right. I think the person that has peace, inner peace, that is like the level. And as long as that bubble stays in between those two lines on the level, you're good. And I think peace, because if you don't have peace and you can't sleep and it's keeping you up, there's something wrong. You need to get away from that because it's not level. I mean, think about it. See, when people say, I need me some peace and quiet or peace of mind, they always attach it to something else. Why can't peace just be enough by itself? Just peace.
For sure.
Because we don't know what that looks like. If I say of mind, I'm thinking
by itself.
Huh?
Peace is or it's not. Peace stands by itself. Peace is a thing, like you said, and it's found within me. And I hold it. Like it's just.
Do you think it's a power? Do you think peace is a power?
Heck yeah. Peace is the power to live by.
Power or a power?
The power.
Oh, wait a minute. So you say peace number one on the list?
100%.
What makes you say that?
Well, all right. Let's say, show me when peace isn't there if there's love. No one and there is still love, but no one recognizes love when they don't have peace. That's why the Middle East hasn't come to peace ever.
No one recognizes love
without peace. Think about the two people yelling in a house. Are they loving each other? No. They are loving each other, but they don't even recognize it because they don't have peace. Find peace first and watch how love opens up. It's the beginning.
Love can take you to peace, though. I'm gonna tell you, I got an example in a Bible story. Makes me, as soon as you said it, I thought of it. I mean, I felt it. This came back, rushing back in the story. That story in the Bible about the two women who were arguing over this is my baby. And they said, "Oh, really? Okay, well, here, let's just cut the baby in half and give each of you half." And the one lady whose baby it was like, "Good, fine, I'll take it." Right? And then the one who really it was her baby, she's like, "No." So that chaos, she found peace. Okay, I'm good. Let her have it.
Right. Well,
I can be at peace with this heifer taking my baby. As long as it's still alive, I'll get that bitch later. But for now, I'm at peace with it. Go ahead, give her the baby. So I'm just saying, you gotta admit, that was a pretty good example where peace was found in the middle of chaos and it came rushing in.
Yes, peace came in and then the real love existed. But before that, they were about to cut the baby in half.
Well, about to kill each other, and then say, "Let's cut the baby." That was so smart. I think that was King Solomon said, "Let's cut the baby in half." Right. And great story, you
Right.
know. But so don't you think that all things divine though can work in all directions?
Say that again.
That all things divine, because they're infinite, I believe they can work in all directions. Forward, backward. That's why I say top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner. Because I always look for a two-way feed with purpose and those things that
I mean,
we
it's
cannot
all going to
capture.
bring us. It's always bringing us back to our highest, no matter what.
Yes,
You know,
agreed.
someone who goes through a divorce like myself learns to be better in a relationship, right? Like I mean, you may not, but I did. I learned how to be better in my relationship by going through hard times to get here. Yet I didn't have peace when I was in it. I was struggling to find peace in some of those moments. And when I got to peace, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Now I can see with Liz that, all right, if I want peace, these other things have to go. So that, which ultimately has led to the level of love that we have.
Yeah.
So I still go back to peace. Yes, love, the space of wanting things, wanting like that mom in that instance of, this is my child. I love him too much to cut him in half. Okay, I'm going to be at peace with this. Now the real experience of love continues to open. So yes, it definitely is. From my view, it's like once someone becomes conscious, you know, and realize they're not present to the fact that peace isn't there, they will find peace in order to access love.
Well, and I'm going to say this. The reason I challenge that about peace being in the number one spot, because for me, I remember the 14 years that I was under the misconception that I was addicted to drugs, and I wasn't. I was addicted to abusing the gift of invitation. That's what I did. Because the drugs didn't lie. I lied. I realized that, you know, when I was inside there, that I really felt, and the things I saw people willing to do for a drug or just a moment with a drug was so powerful that I remember feeling and seeing and experiencing. I said, oh my God, next to true love, an addiction is one of the strongest forces on the planet. Really, because of the things I saw, the power that it had over people. And so what I love about this conversation is that even when you don't have it, if you seek peace, see those, like the woman who said, just keep the baby. She was seeking a peaceful outcome. If you're seeking, you will find anything that enacts a promise. And that's one of the promises. If you seek, you will find. So I think too, that chaos is there to ensure that we are consistently seeking, because I believe peace, like all those other things we cannot capture, they grow. There are higher and higher diving boards. You can keep reaching. There's always an E and an R that can go to your current level of knowing. You can always take, if you're nice, you can become nicer. If you're already great, you can become greater, because that's why we must seek, because our highest self.
Peacer.
Huh?
You cannot become peacer.
No, you cannot.
Peace is just when it's 100%, it's just when peace is really there, it's just peace.
But you become peaceful.
Yes, you
full of peace.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
Right. And as you grow, so does the capacity to contain more peace. So you keep seeking, because our highest self, we're not going to find it here.
I don't know about that.
Our highest self, then what is there to go to from here?
The idea, from my perspective,
here we go,
is that
grandmama, here come that man,
is that to be at peace, I'm just at peace. And when I have full peace, no matter what comes up in this reality, I'm just peace. Nothing takes it. Like
How do you know full peace?
Well, what I
Like, well,
know
that's
is
it. Call it a day. Everybody go home. We done reached the top. There can be no more peace. We have hit the limit.
now what I know is that this person has full peace. And I know that
for
to
now,
maintain that
in this moment,
it moves so little, man.
So if you have full peace, what happens when you slip and it's not there? What'd you do? Leave some of it down the road? What happened to? Is there a hole in the tank?
So really, this is really tough for my brain to even come into that anymore, because
don't you have days
peace.
though where you're not as peaceful as you were the day before, whether it was of your own choice or not? Sometimes you get thrown into chaos.
Remember, I lost my sight.
Right.
And had to be okay. That level. So now I'm watching what I'm saying, because I know how I create with my own words. So I'm saying to the creator, I'm good. I don't need anything else to challenge whether or not I can keep peace. And because of that, there's things that come and I'm just like, nah, I'm holding peace. I'm here. It's not, I'm not moving. I refuse to move because I know when I move what it draws to me. So I just hold it.
So do you think to frame it as keep peace, which you just said, is the same as maintain peace? Because you can keep a woman or a spouse or something, or you can maintain one. Two different things.
Yeah, definitely two different things.
So can you keep peace or do you maintain it? Because if you find it, how do you protect it? That's back to your thing from earlier.
Okay, so the way
come on, Cletus. Come on, you'll walk over, but you'll limp back.
So the way to maintain peace,
is
to just be peace.
But that's like saying I have a new car, I want to maintain it at this level. I still got to get the oil checked. I still got to get my tires balanced. I got to maintain it. So
you either have peace or you don't. It's not the same.
Then why do you do yoga?
Why do I do yoga?
Maintaining? Aren't you doing that to ground, to maintain your peace?
No, not for my peace.
Why are you doing it?
I do yoga to maintain my physical body.
But isn't there a centering thing that comes with yoga?
I'm always in that center.
But I'm saying, don't a lot of people do yoga?
See, I'm not the best example at this point in time, because I've spent 45 plus years meditating. Right? So 45 plus years of meditation at this point says I'm just at a point where I've done that.
So what about when we lose our tempers? What is that? Are we relinquishing,
now,
turning our back on peace?
When you say we, are you throwing me in this thing?
We as people, as humans.
All right, so that's my point. We as people can get to a point that we don't lose our tempers. We maintain peace.
How do you know this is true? Have you done it?
Yes.
So you're saying you will never lose your temper again?
I am saying to the creator in this moment, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to maintain my peace. Because, and now I know that I'm also okay with, hey man, if for some reason there's something needs to be there. See, I'm just dancing with a lot right now. I have a family member that's struggling, big, and I'm still at peace. I have another family member that's struggling with the person that's struggling. And so they often are struggling with everyone around.
Right.
And I'm still at peace.
True.
So I'm holding it myself. that's
You did that on the screen.
yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but it came up. So that's where we all can get. I'm just okay with some people get upset with my calmness around Hamas and Israel. And my ability to just step back and be okay with, all right, we need to look at this in its entirety. And some people don't want to look at it in its entirety. It's already agitated them. So they don't have peace about it. So that's partially why those two sides are unable to get to peace, because they don't have peace. So because they have leaders on both sides without the level of peace that it would take to bring them to peace, they can't even get there in this moment.
Well, and there's also so many, in my opinion, I agree with what you just said, but I also believe too that part of the issue is that so many people have so many different definitions. For instance, if you hear peace in the Middle East, to some people that means a ceasefire. It's over, the war is declared, the war over, but that doesn't mean there's peace. Because you know what I'm saying. And there, I believe that there are, just like there's a paint strip for every color with shades, I believe there are shades to things like peace too, layers, like an onion. And well, because
there's layers on the way to peace, but when it's peace.
Because also think about it. If a person is born into that and that's all they've ever known,
that would be the Buddha. Yep.
That would be, you see what I'm saying? Then that's.
And even when the Buddha went out of his kingdom and saw people suffering, and then went and sat by the tree and got to full peace, because before he had situational peace. Everything was gravy, living in the kingdom. Dad's taking care of everything, really sheltering him from seeing anything. And when he walked out and saw something that took him to a new level, he had to go sit by the tree and find that level of peace. See, 100% peace is a state of turning the light up. We're all enlightened, but very few people have turned the light all the way up. So in that sense, turn the light all the way up. Like, I don't even want to call it enlightened, because most people get offended by the word enlightened. Why? They want to figure out who's not. You're not enlightened. Look at the Dalai Lama. They want to go figure out how the Dalai Lama could fall. Like, okay, that's not it though. Real peace just is peace. And when it's there, nothing moves it. Nothing. And I sit with that often, because I look at different things, and the only way something shakes my peace is if I become attached to it. I'm not attached. Well, and I don't even want to, I don't even like to go into that conversation, because then people want to ask things, and it's like, nah, it's like when I asked Liz to marry me, I said, before I get on this knee, I need you to know I have a mission, and I want to be married, but I have a mission. My mission is peace. It's just so fortunate that my wife agrees to that mission too.
Okay, what about this one? Because we all seen it.
Uh-oh. It's not a good time for you to drop, bro. And so I want to just keep going with that one on having peace. There you are. Are you back? Nah, you're still kind of out. And with that, you're going to come back, because I'm about to dive into this, I think. So I'm just going to go with it, even though you look very frozen in the moment.
I am. I was like right at the good part too, but I wrote it down.
All right, what you got? Oh man.
I know.
You know what it is? They don't want us to give people this juice.
So don't.
Something doesn't want us to give this juice.
That's why I always write down exactly when it dips out what the next word was going to be. Trick no good, Cletus. I got you. See, right. So I was going to say, aren't you, what about this?
All right, I know you're coming back because we got 10 minutes left, and we need to.
Know what?
Hit this one.
They go
there you are.
playing with me. I ain't playing, y'all. Keep it up. Keep it up. Like when a person gets saved, everybody be waiting. Then, oh, that's so good. Oh, congratulations. Praise the Lord. You know, got saved. And then they be waiting. Uh-huh. Thought you said you got saved. Did you hear what she said? Right. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that dress she got on. Call herself saved. See, you know, everybody's been waiting for. I thought you said she got saved. Right. So if you say peace is my thing, you know, everybody waiting.
There's no doubt.
I've met blow it anytime, huh?
I've met people that meet me and want to just say, all right, let me see how much I can push to see if I can move them. And that's great. I appreciate those people that have come into my life like that. Why? Because iron sharpens iron. They sharpened my peace sword so much that I can sit in it. That I can say, okay, I mean, it used to be when I'd lose my peace, I couldn't walk. So I've gone through that level of when I caved in some way, I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I lost use of every muscle, every arm, both my arms, my legs. I couldn't get out of bed at all. So with that being said, nobody gets to have my peace. Period. I don't care what it is. I'd rather die first because I know what it looks like to lose my peace, which then looks like it just so happens that the further I get on this, you know, we talked about the allergy of sugar that came in because my body began to know it's not really putting peace in me. I don't drink coffee. I haven't drank alcohol in 18 years. All these things kept going and going and going. I can see myself, and I've known this for a while. At some point, I'll be nuts and berries. I know that. Like at some point, my body's going to say, nope, this is what vegetables seem to work. Hopefully they stay in the game. But, you know, if it comes down to nuts and berries and that's how I have to move, that's just how I have to move. And it's okay. I'm at peace with that. And that's me being at peace with that, being from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I love shellfish.
Nuts and berries, you come to my house talking about some nuts and berries. I'll put you a plate underneath the bushes out front. You can go eat out there. Stick him a plate on like on Gilligan's Island when they went to the cave and they go take his food to the cave. That's you silly. But I get it. And I also think too, like you said, it's important for people to understand the reason there are people like you, the reason there are people like me and you and you and you and you, where we all have superpowers, and certain things come to us easier. We've our souls have mastered things at different levels, and so I love the example of a person who, like you, who says that it's possible. So it's not for someone to say, yeah, right. Like you said, people also, I can move them off a square. Well, go ahead. Go give it your best shot. You know, and that, how else are people going to see that it is possible? Nobody believed you could walk on water till they saw Jesus do it. I'm just saying. Nobody knew you could go to the moon till somebody did it, or everything else. Like that story about breaking the mile. You know, when they were running, and then as soon as somebody broke it, next thing you know, a couple years, 5, 6, 7, 8 people had done it. Because before somebody did it, like, I didn't know you could do that. Right. I find that so incredible that it takes one. It takes an example. People need a reference point. So, and that's what you provide. That's what we all provide with what we know to be true.
Right on.
You know, I love it. And it's on your hard drive. It's not on a thumb drive. The jury's in. It's a unanimous verdict. Those are the things you know. No matter what people do, you can talk until you're blue in the face. You will never out-talk me on this. I know this to be true, and it's going to be that way. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
All the way through.
You know, I like
what we need more of.
I tell people, don't just read the book, become the book. Whatever the book is you want to call your book and follow it, become the book. Don't just read it. You know, I've written the book, and I have before it, I became the book. It took me 30 years to write the book that's coming out that is about that walk. It's different and it's okay. I unapologetic.
Well, it took you 30 years to live the book.
Right.
It took you 2 months to write it, or whatever amount of time.
It took me 30 years to write it. It took me 53 years to live it.
Oh, there you Oh, see, I thought you was how old are you?
53, bro.
Wow. Okay, I read the bill. Okay, you got me on that one. I agree.
This is the piece. This is what peace looks like. See the lack of wrinkles. This is what peace looks like.
But I remember when you were the shade of seal. Explain that. Back
Man,
to the bleaching green.
you know, when we met, it was summertime in Florida, bro. The sun wins.
Yeah,
the sun wins. All right, we got to wrap this up. So, what you got for everybody?
I just want to say, just keep seeking. Prove and challenge people. That's what I love about this show and why I come every month is because it challenges me, and you're not afraid to be challenged. If people don't want to be challenged, then there's a reason for that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, show me. I'm going to watch your feet long before I watch your mouth. So
I love that.
There it is.
All right. Well, I'll see you next month.
See you next month. Merry Christmas, you guys. Oh, it'll be a new year. I'll see you next year.
Right. Well, we'll link up before that for sure.
Of course.
And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really want to just leave you with this because we're on lesson 9, week 9. And what it is you are a creator and it's time to create. It's time for you to recognize that you are creating your reality all the time. And when you get okay with everything, when you're at peace with everything, you start creating what you want in your life. And it looks like this. It really does. I know that I have reversed the clock just by being at peace in my life in so many ways. So excited to be with you next week as we continue this one for this month and continue down all the lessons. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.